Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Penelope. This is their straight rye whiskey, finished in Tokaji casks, coming in at a 53.5% ABV, 6-year age statement. So, more recently here in 2023, Penelope started dropping on the shelves here in Indiana. This one, however, not so much. This one's really hard to find in some areas. I actually had to end up ordering this through Flaviar, which I have a membership through. And essentially what Tokaji casks are, it's a wine cask from the Hungarian region. And I've only had it in one other thing, which was the Glenmorangie, the Taste of Cake, and it was phenomenal. I'm interested to see what it does in here because Penelope does source from MGP, and they're taking the 95% rye, 5% malted barley, and throwing it into that cask. Now, there's nothing wrong with MGP whiskey, it's good stuff, so no criticisms there. And while there's no official age statement on the bottle for that 6-year, going to Flaviar's website to tell us this one specifically is 6 years. I don't know if this is a specific pick for Flaviar or not, can't find a lot of information on that side of things, so it might vary if you find this out in the wild, just so you know. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into things. As always, we're going to be trying it 2 different ways. First way, neat, no ice, no water. Second way, we'll add just a drop of water, see if anything changes up. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that kind of good stuff. If you're interested in some other Penelope reviews, they'll be linked up above and down below, so you can take a look at those afterwards. I have been a big fan of everything I've had from them so far. I've purchased their whole core lineup, some of their finishing series. I love what they're doing. And I'm a big fan nowadays of the 95.5 rye build that MGP does. Prior to really getting deep into it, I was always a little hesitant because I only had things like Bullet that was sourcing, at least at that time, from MGP. So now that I've kind of honed in my rye notes, I'm a big fan of rye whiskey. Beautiful color on there. It does have a little shine. It's a little dark, but it's got a kind of a unique shine to it. A little golden in there. That's what it is. There's a little gold mixed into that. All right, let's go for notes. So, right away, you can definitely tell this is MGP rye whiskey. Dilly rye right from the get-go. Spicy, sweet, a little herbal, a little medicinal. But there's also that Tokaji cask playing in there, very light, sweet, but a little fruit funk. Just a little bit of almost a over-ripened fruit note. But it's playing beautifully with that rye note. I've noticed that the 95 rye builds tend to really hone in beautiful sweet notes, especially with things like rum cask finishing. And it kind of gives you that vibe. But there is this kind of a fruit over-ripened note going on here that rum typically doesn't have. Some do. Getting a nice solid oak in there now. And honestly, it's all playing together very, very well. The spice notes mixed in there with the oak, the vanillas, the caramels, those classics. But that wine twist on things is really good. There's also no ABV or anything harsh on the nose either. So, let's go for a taste now. That is different. Wow. We are going on a ride here. All aboard. So right up front, the rye punch hits you. That bit of dilly rye, the spices, the herbal, the medicinal, very similar to the nose. And then right as soon as that finishes, this big old burst of unique wine finishing going on here. It's a little sweet. It's a little sour fruit going on in here in a good way. I like sour stuff. But it's got this little tinge to it. It's well rounded on those notes though. And then here in the finish, that spice is left with a little bit of that fruity characteristic notes going on in there too. Being as this is my first time having a rye finished in it, it's unique. I like it. The scotch was phenomenal. The taste of cake is so good. This is unique because of the spice characteristics that rye is bringing. Really good mouthfeel on it, coats the palate pretty decently. Those notes are so unique because you're getting this almost tropical mixed fruit note going on, like pineapple, coconut, bananas. It's charry. And then you just kind of keeps rolling from there with the spice notes. Heavy, deep, herbal and medicinal. And it's beautifully done. That is such a unique ride on a classic rye, bringing out those deep, rich fruit notes. And here, even in the finish, I'm getting a little bit almost like a light milk chocolate going on too. That is really good. You gotta be in the mood for a wine cask here. And I think that's the one thing that may make or break it depending on who you are. If you're not big in the wine cask finishing things, it may not be for you. But I've had some really good examples of wine cask finishing. It's kind of funny because they also do their rosé cask finished, and I thought that one was phenomenal. This is a whole different ballpark. I like it. It's just so unique with that Tokaji cask going on. I'm trying to wrap my head around how complex those fruit notes are, because it's a completely different beast to what I was expecting to have after having the taste of cake from Glenmorangie. All right. So put a little bit in here. We're going to add a little drop of water, see what changes up. Sometimes wine cask finished things can go a little strange with a little drop of water in there, so we're not going to add a lot, but we just don't know until we try it. It might make it just go a little sweeter, might make it go transparent, you just don't know. So, let's go for notes. It dials itself back about 20 to 30%. You still get a lot of the similar characteristics. The beautiful rye notes going on there, the herbal, medicinal. The fruitiness of the wine cask is also showing up a bit too. Still no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. But the fruit notes are going more wine characteristics versus tropical characteristics. You can definitely get a little bit more wine funk on things. But very similar. Again, I'd say about 20 to 30% less intensity compared to the neat version. Let's go for a taste. Very similar on the taste as well. If anything, it gets a little more wine funk on the taste, bringing out a few more of those deeper characteristics of like over-ripened fruit notes. You still get the rye spice, the herbal, the medicinal, the charriness, the oak layers, the vanilla, the caramel. You're still getting all those great notes. The only thing I can really pinpoint the difference is a little bit more of that wine funk on the taste. Let's go back to the neat one here. Yeah. Oh, the depth of the fruit notes on that. It's night and day difference. As always, it doesn't matter what you drink or how you drink it, as long as you enjoy it. That's where it needs to be. This isn't bad, by all means. It just, that water breaks up some of those characteristics that you're really going to miss out on, in my opinion. But still a really solid sip, I'll give it that much. All right, let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price, and it's always going to vary. So MSRP on this is about 80 bucks. You're not going to find it for 80 bucks nowadays. I ended up buying it for about 100 bucks from Flaviar. And to be honest, I'm not mad by that price point. This is a very unique expression of a 6-year-old rye whiskey. Most secondary markets are charging $200-$300 for this. It's not worth that, obviously. Never pay those kind of prices when the original MSRP was only $80. And in today's market, you know, with this being a limited edition run, that slight markup of about 20 bucks coming from a reputable source, I'm fine paying that. So 100 bucks I think is okay. Do I think it's worth much more than that? Not really. Again, I think 80 bucks is a gorgeous price. If you could snag this for $80, even to $90, do it. It's a beautiful example of that Tokaji cask in there. That rye whiskey is great, well-aged, and it's at a good proof. But I just wouldn't pay the $150, $250, $300 price point on it. It's not worth that any day of the week. That's just my opinion. But I think that if you get the opportunity to try this one, 100% give it a taste. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Penelope straight rye whiskey finished in Tokaji casks. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirit I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I even like it might not.